already. Gary talked about some of the budget issues that we have going on. The fact is, we said last year we were not going to raise taxes and we were going to cut spending in the state of Minnesota. We did both. The result is today we have a budget surplus. I think that's not true. A lot of time talking about Obamacare. We're going to do everything we can in the state of Minnesota to make sure that Obamacare does not come to Minnesota. It's looking to me like we're going to have two constitutional amendments on the ballot. The first one that we put on last year will, in the Constitution, define that marriage in the state of Minnesota is between one man and one woman. The second amendment that I think will probably be on the ballot is one that will require every voter to show a photo ID when they come to vote. There's a number of other issues that are being talked about as ballot amendments. I don't know if any of the others are going to make the cut. The fact is, putting something on the ballot and putting something in our Constitution is a big deal. It's not something that we should use for just every little issue that we think we can detour around the governor. I think we want to be very careful about what we do. We've got two good amendments. Let's support them and get them on the Constitution. I'm going to skip a whole bunch of the rest of this speech because there's not time. But I will...
well, I'll yield back the 60 seconds they took out from harassing her.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say a little bit about some of the things that I work on in the state at the legislature. I'm vice chair of the Environment Committee. I'm on the Legacy Committee. I'm on the Ag Committee. I'm a farmer, as most of you probably know. I work hard on ag issues, and one thing that's going to happen very soon, you know, Steve Swingham resigned from the Board of Regents at the University of Minnesota. We've got a great ag candidate that I'm promoting to get on the Board of Regents. It's going to have to happen fast, and I'm going to make that happen. I spent a lot of time working on water issues. I do a lot of work with water since before I was elected, and I work with the PCA and the DNR and all these agencies that we have here in Minnesota that try to tell us all what to do. It's my objective that we improve that system, make it more efficient, make it easier for businesses in Minnesota to thrive and survive and expand here in the state of Minnesota. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but that's what we're after. I'm just going to end, well, I'm not going to end yet. I have to mention a couple other things. I also serve as an assistant majority leader in the Minnesota House of Representatives. That means that I go to executive board meetings and we talk about, you know, our strategy here in the state of Minnesota as far as the House Republicans goes, what issues, how we're going to approach these different issues. I want to assure everyone in this room that the right to life issues are critically important to every one of us in that room. It's not easy in this environment to get right-to-life issues through the system, but I assure you that they get attention virtually every week, every day at the House in the state of Minnesota and in the Senate, too, at the Republican Party. We have not forgotten those issues, but we've got a big governor guy that stands in our way and makes it very difficult to get any legislation passed. We do have bills that Gary and I have both signed on to that we're trying to move through, but it's virtually impossible right now. I'm going to end then with, just to mention a couple of my friends, one that I served with last year in the House and one that I serve with currently in the House, who are both throwing their hat in the rings for the U.S. Senate race. There will be a U.S. Senate race on the ballot this fall. We're going to do our best, as Jim mentioned earlier, to support our candidates, even though the opponents have mountains of money. We have mountains of great people that are going to work for these candidates. I don't know who's going to get the endorsement, but my friend Dan Severson, who was in the House last year, is one of the candidates. And another friend of mine, Kurt Bills, who currently serves in the House, is one of those candidates. Check these guys out. I'm not going to decide for you who you should support, but check them out. They're both good guys, and I would be happy to see either one of them in the U.S. Senate. With that, I would just ask for your support for me. I need to get endorsed. I need to run a campaign. Don't have an opponent right now. I expect one will probably show up, but we need your help. Gary and I don't do this work alone. We depend on people for their pocketbooks and for their hard work to get us to keep us elected. I would also ask you to think about what's happening here in the state. If we don't elect majorities again in the Minnesota House and the Minnesota Senate, the governor's going to be there. He's not going anywhere, folks. He's going to be there for 2 more years. If we don't hold our majorities together, he's going to have his way with us. And that, my friends, would be a disaster. So support your candidates, not only necessarily right here in this district, but if you have friends outside the district, make sure that they're supporting their Republican candidates too, so we hold these majorities together. With that, I want to thank you all again for your support and for your support of the Republican Party, for being here on a beautiful, what really should be a winter day, but it looks like spring day to me. I drove on the way up here, I drove by one of my neighbors, had his tractors out in the yard. It was a little hard not to turn around. But God bless you, God bless the state of Minnesota, and God bless this great country. Thank you.